Joining me now for a quick chat on the science sales report is the President of SIAM, Vikram Kirloskar. Mr. Kirloskar, in terms of the disappointment, at different degrees, because it's been a negative trend, especially the passenger car sales. Was that on expected lines? Did you expect this kind of decline happening in the passenger car space?
A very disappointing decline, and we're all praying it won't happen, but that's the reality.
I mean, what was the major factor that happened?
I think at a really big level, the growth in the economy has come down, 8-9%, 7% coming down to 4+. That definitely has decreased the, hurt the sentiment, hurt the growth in the industry.
Also, you're playing it safe for next year. You're not giving out a growth forecast. I mean, what's the reason behind that? You have the elections coming up. You're expecting overall sentiment to pick up?
The growth forecast, what I'm saying for passenger vehicles, if I'm lucky, if I'm praying, it'll be +0. Motorcycles, two-wheelers looks good and positive. Commercial vehicles looks a real challenge again, I think, next year. Unless a lot of the knots in the economy are untied and a lot of the infrastructure products are cleared out and they start moving. Some of them, I believe, have been cleared, so maybe they'll do economic closure and they'll actually start happening. So those things can help. Next year, I expect any government, any party which comes in, I think they all are aware what the situation is. And they all have big economic programs on how to do things. And my request is, first they untie the existing projects. All the low-hanging fruit that's possible, untie the knots, get those things moving. Second is, we have to be a manufacturing-led nation, not just services. So whatever committees that have acted in the last 4-5 years, there have been many committees formed by the government in the last 4 or 5 years. And my request to the next government is, irrespective of which government has formed those committees, look at the suggestions from them and see how fast. They've made a lot of good work and good suggestions, how they can be implemented. Sure. Don't look at which government has done it, but look at the content of the work that was done and see if that can be implemented. My third suggestion is, every budget time we are sitting and we are negotiating and lobbying the government saying, reduce this, excise, increase this, excise duties, various taxes. Try to have a little long-term policy on these. And so we are not, it's not something end of March, what are we going to do in April situation? Sure. End of February or whatever, what are we going to do in March situation? We shouldn't get into that. We should have some long-term sight on taxation and which direction to go, which direction taxation will help promote a particular area of the economy. Definitely manufacturing economy needs to be promoted. So what fiscal or taxation or whatever will help this kind of economy, I think it's important in the long run.
Sure.
So these are the three main things which I'm particularly interested in.
How would you sum up the overall sentiment amongst consumers who are going to showrooms but possibly not picking up their car? Is there a delay in decision making that's kicking in?
See, definitely when the excise duties came down, we've seen some improvement in showroom visits and test drives. So I'm hoping people see some change in the way things are done. People are perceiving there's a change in the government attitude. I think if they see after the elections the government being very proactive, I think people will certainly also get proactive. That's what I'm hoping for. Whatever little bit we've seen Delhi elections, it's like 65-66% voting. It's fantastic. No? We've never seen these numbers in India ever before. Sure. So obviously people are interested in what the political issues in the country are and they want to have a voice in it. So I think that's a good thing. I think long range, the more people vote in elections, the more people get active and want something done in the economy, I think the more results we will see.
Sure. Also, another encouraging trend is that new brands coming into the country. You have Datsun, even bike makers, Triumph coming out with large number. That's an encouraging sign for you, right?
This is the most competitive market in the world. I don't think, especially in the B car, A car segment, you have this kind of models in the world. But you see the result of it. We are the most competitive small car maker in the world. We are the largest exporter of small cars in the world. And we are price-wise, quality-wise, every way competitive. That's the result of open competition. And the more open competition we have across the country and the more ease to manufacture, you'll see India becoming an export manufacturing growth country.
And continuing to attract more brands into the country itself.
Brands, not only automotive spurns a lot of other kinds of manufacturing.
Sure.
So if you push this, make cars competitive, you'll find machinery competitive. You'll find other things competitive. You'll find tires competitive. You'll find other parts, you'll find the component sector competitive.
Sure.
So I think it's important to encourage the whole manufacturing sector.
Also, one final question on the recent recalls that have happened in the industry. You've earlier indicated that this shows transparency within this thing, but from a sentiment point of view, don't you think the customer is a little doubtful when he goes in for a brand? Doesn't it impact the brand in that sense, the model specifically?
No, you at least, okay, maybe I've lived outside India when I was a youngster, and but I think if you look in developed countries, a company which is transparently telling its issues tends to have more confidence with the customer than anyone else. Of course, basic quality is, of course, and reliability is, of course, an issue, but everyone is working on that. It's not that you're making everything 100% perfect. People will make mistakes. There are bound to be some engineering issues, and some of these problems are found out after 4 or 5 years, after 4 or 5 years of wear and tear. I think it's a fantastic confidence building measure in an industry to say that yes, this is my issue and I will solve it for you. Which other industry does it? Which other consumer product will come and tell you after 5 years, oh, there was a problem in the belt, there I will come and replace the belt in your washing machine or whatever. I think this is a great confidence building thing which the industry takes very seriously.
Sure. Mr. Kirloskar, thank you so much for talking to NDTV.
Thank you.